Hello, Impa. How are you doing today, mate?
I'm great, man. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, buddy. Not too bad. How was training and everything been?
Everything's going well. It's kind of been kind of a few adjustments since the fight got moved a few weeks earlier.
Yeah,
So yesterday, thank you for rescheduling, man. And then getting ready, kind of resting up this morning, recovering because now it's technically fight week.
yeah,
8 days out, ready to go. But everything's going really, really well. My teammate Scott Holtzman just finished up his camp, so
hmm
kind of on the same time on Friday, and he's heading out to Vegas tomorrow. So pretty
yeah,
excited.
yeah. So he's fighting on August the 8th, I think it is, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Against
Yeah,
Big
your
Yoda.
teammate Scott Holtzman. Have you
Mhm.
been helping each other a lot?
Yeah, we've been working together a lot. We're the main training partners, so
hmm
been getting to help him, give him looks, and been working together. Scott's been, what is it, 3 camps now? Um, he fought in New Jersey, when he fought Jim Miller, and then now this camp too. So been working together for a little while now. It's
Yeah.
like great mentor, man.
So where is it that you train?
I train at Jimbo here in Gastonia, North Carolina. It's
Yeah.
a smaller town outside the city of Charlotte, which is one of the bigger cities here in North Carolina, the United States.
hmm
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. So let's get a bit into your background. How did you get into MMA, and what sort of age were you when you started doing it?
So I was 23 when I started. Um, what got me into it, man, was I wanted to get better at football. Since I was a kid, I've liked to watch it.
Yeah.
But my mom would never let me do it, and my parents went on to do it. Like, my parents from Congo in Central Africa, so
Yeah.
Democratic Republic of the Congo. And sports there are, big like they are here in like, the western part of the world. So um, for me, I always wanted to. I've always liked that. I like boxing, but when I was young, I was like, until you can pay for it on your own, you're not doing anything like that. So I was like, okay. Senior year of college, I was going into my last season playing college football, and I was like, well, I know I can pay for it on my own now because I was working at a job. And man, the second I stepped on the mat, I was like, this is what I need to do. A couple weeks later, took my first amateur fight, and that went really well. I won that, which was super, super happy about that. And then really never stopped since. Like, I started training. I didn't after my first amateur fight. It took me over a year to fight again. Came to Jimmo,
Mm.
and my coach was like, let's develop you, let's work, serve your teammates, and then took that time to really, really focus on different looks and understanding how to fight properly. So what got me into it, man.
Yeah. So how many amateur fights did you have?
I had five. I had five
Five.
amateur fights. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Was
Yeah.
like you said, the first one was after a year you started again, and was with the rest of them in like close time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the first one was January 2017, and then the next one March 2018. And then about every other month,
Yeah.
some back-to-back months, every other month. Some got canceled, but I was trying to fight every month that I could.
Yeah. Because obviously in your professional career, you started off in January 2019, and then you
Mm-hmm.
just cranked out the fights. I think you had 6 fights in just over 8 months. What
Yep.
was
Yes,
the
sir.
thinking behind that? Was you just wanting to fight and get as much experience as possible?
Well, man, I love to fight. So for me, it's like when you love something, you want to keep doing it. It was
Yeah.
healthy, felt good. I have great training partners. I know they can prepare me, and you never know what's gonna happen. You never know what opportunity you can get. Like the Contender series last year, but also too like this year. I think was even more of a testimony because those 6 fights allowed me to, even in the midst of this pandemic, still fight. So I'm
hmm
super blessed and super happy about that. Part of the reason was too is like I was a fighters fight. They don't turn fights down. They show up when they're ready to go. And I don't really, well, we don't take any time off, honestly. So it's like we're in the gym year round. So if you keep training, why not keep fighting?
Of course, yeah, of
Mm.
course. Did you ever feel tired or worn out during that period, or any injuries or anything like that?
After my first pro fight, I busted my right hand pretty bad.
Okay.
But I just kept fighting with it. Nothing, no major injuries, nothing like that. Besides my right hand, like I couldn't really squeeze or do much with it for a little while. But we made the adjustments. Worked different techniques, and plus once you get in the fight, you really don't feel it. Like usually after the fight or maybe in a warm up, so I would feel it. But like once like the cage door closed and the ref is like, "Are you ready? Are you ready?" Like all that stuff goes out the window.
hmm
So about 4 or 5 fights, my hand was pretty busted. It was like wasn't so like the Pillsbury Doughboy or Michelin Man. My hand was just so fat for a while, but it was all good, man. Once they wrapped my hands and I could fight, I was really, really good. Worn out, no. Really, we mean my coach and my mentor and all my teammates were very, very helpful. Like, give me a lighter practice here or tell me to head home earlier. But it was always good. And that recovery on the weekends and learning more about that, how to recover better as a professional athlete. And after the Contender series, man, it was like, took some time for the first time I went to California, which is fun. So I never really felt worn out or anything like that.
That's good. So is that something that you're looking to repeat in the future? Like having so many fights in a short period of time, you don't really aren't too bothered about doing it again?
Oh, no, man, I'd love to. Once I get this contract on the 11th, man, I'm telling them, you can keep me in Vegas. You can let me stay in Vegas and I'm ready to go. Like, I'll stay in Vegas and fight the next weekend. I'll fight before the Contender series when we UFC debut. And since the dude signed the contract, I'll still fight him. And then I'll fight again. Like, I love to fight. And, like, this is what I'm called to do. So I'm grateful, man. I would love to fight maybe after the Contender series 3 or 4 times in the UFC before the end of the year. That'd be awesome. 4 or 5 if they need it, you know.
Possibly you could be after that Kamzat's record of 2 wins in 10 days.
Hey, I'll do it. I'll give me 3 or 4 wins in 10 days. I'll fight back to back. Yeah, I respect him. Isn't he doing? He's doing pretty well, huh?
Yeah, he is good. We definitely need to see him against a ranked opponent, but it's very hard because I've put a few posts out and people have been like saying, no, this isn't the fight because of this reason. But then who do you give him?
I'll fight him. I like to. I think you're doing well, man. So he's 185,
right? He's 170, but he did fight his first fight at 185.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
So I think he's obviously more 170, but he's willing to fight at 185 as well. So
I like it. Maybe we'll get that fight.
Maybe one day. Over your 6 fights, what was the biggest takeaway experience from that?
Over my 6 fights, the biggest takeaway is
or learning experience.
For sure. You have to make adjustments. You know, you can't just be the same in every single fight because everybody's so different. I think for me, it was like, oh, you can just be. The first fight was okay. You had to be one way, but man, I found a guy, pretty tough guy from South Florida. He trains at Sanford MMA. His name was Garrett Bosnick, and it was my first pro fight. Yes, but man, he just kept reversing positions, like staying calm in the cage and seeing your shots. You know, you don't have to rush in there and just be a brute, you know? Big intelligent, the way you fight was something I really thought about, and intelligent the way you approach an attack, like be calm, you're meant to be in there. So that was my biggest takeaway, I believe. And then after that, I was like, okay, cool, that really, really helped me out a lot. And when you get back in the gym, be honest with yourself. Like obviously 6-0, great, we're happy about that. But man, there's always something to get better at. And, you know, people say you either win or you learn. I don't necessarily believe that. I believe you either win or you choose to learn, but you can also learn from your wins too. You have to be more critical. I think it's like after people win, after I win or anything, it's like if we don't look back at our film or we don't get back in the gym right away, then I think you start deteriorating, you know, as a fighter and in your skill set. But for me, it was like the second you get back, hey, what can I do better? Like, ask your teammates. Get the most challenging teammates. Like John Salter, Honeycutt, Brian Barberino, Hot Sauce, you know, all those guys, Ricky Rainey, anybody who's been in it before, been to the top level, ask them, like, be honest with me. Like, hey, what can I do better? Because every single fight, things change. Every single fight, you got to be ready and prepared to go. I remember my first fight, it was fun, like, kind of banging away. And then my second fight, it was a clinch battle. You know, so it's like, well, how do I get better at that? So you don't know what practice you're going to learn how to clinch better. You don't know what practice you can do. So like taking every fight and every practice and then being really, really honest with myself and learning how to adjust, because I think that's what takes you further. Fights.
Yeah, definitely. It's a great mentality you have because you've always got to learn something new because you're never going to know everything in MMA.
Yes, sir.
So over your 6 fights as well, what was your favourite moment? Because I know you had a quite good knockout in there as well.
Man, gosh. So you asked me this question. Favorite moment, man. So Can I have a tie? Am I allowed to have a tie between two favorite moments?
Go for it. Go for it.
All right. So after the fight before, 2 fights before my Contender Series fight. This is a fight that happened in South Carolina. We were working on jump knees, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I was like, this fight was supposed to be outdoors. The fight got pushed a few days later because of rain delays and stuff like that. So I was there waiting on Friday. Fight got moved because of the weather. So we didn't fight on Saturday, didn't fight on Sunday, we didn't fight on Monday, we fought on Tuesday maybe. No, we fought on Monday. And you know, we got in the cage. It was just really doing nobody in the crowd because people couldn't make us work. But I never forget, like I was sitting there, and they brought us out a little too early. And then we were sitting outside, like in this baseball dugout during the intermission. And I mean, it was so peaceful, man. Just the weather was beautiful. It was so nice. And it was so cool fighting outdoors. And then when I stepped in the cage, it really felt like my feet were so cold, like I was like walking on a cloud. I don't know. I felt I was in a different place. And kind of moving around, dancing in there, ready to go. And I always say, like, send it to my teammates. And I look down in the corner, I'm like, send it. And that was just a lot of fun. Moved around, first round, moving around. Got in the cage, got taken down a little bit, stood back up. And then as I was backing up, jump knee, came down, right hand, dropped him. And he was out, and then we jumped on his back and finished fight with the choke so we could secure the win. That was a fun fight, man. It's a whole fun experience because like so many adjustments, but I was really happy to stay focused on what we needed to do. Mm-hmm. And then the second time was after my LFA fight, the fight before the Contender Series. You know, I didn't know about the Contender Series yet. Apparently my teammates did. Everybody knew that it was already happening. But I really wanted to fight, so they still let me fight. And I guess they would have, you know, I guess if they told me, they might have thought I didn't want to fight. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But I finished the fight, and then my teammate, Brian Barberina, who was helping me a lot at the time, showed me a video of his kids, his 3 beautiful kids, were saying, congratulations, you made the Contender Series. And that was just like, and I couldn't hear it at first because it was so loud in the venue. And I was really like still excited that we won. And I was like, what? And then I realized it, congratulations, you made a Contender Series. And then I just like took off and ran because I got so excited. So 2 of my favorite moments, man. And it was just so much fun. Like the LFA fight was in a beautiful venue. We were like doing like spinning kicks. We were just having so much fun. So those were my 2 probably favorite moments.
Yeah, that sounds good. Sounds a lot of fun. So you haven't fought for a while now. Obviously, it's been a few reasons, people pulling out, obviously coronavirus cancelling some events. And I think your last fight scheduled was a title fight for the LFA middleweight belt, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. How was it getting that called off? Obviously, because it's a big opportunity to win a bout for a professional company and everything.
Man, it was a challenge for sure because like man, like we had 5 fights canceled total, and like whether it was like someone dropped, got sick or different things. So when we finally got the LFA title, I was like, let's go. But it was funny because now looking back on it, like okay, I'm kind of happy that happened, right? Because a better blessing came with the Contender Series, right? But man, I love the fight, so being ready to take this LFA title to fight a solid fighter in Madrid, you know, it was like, man, because like, you know, guys get the LFA title and they get the short notice in the UFC, or the LFA title, they have a great performance, and they're right to the UFC. So you feel like you're right there, and then you're like, why? Yeah. So, but it also, man, it really showed me how much I love fighting, you know, because I know it's like, well, all right, fine, put the weight back on, we get right back to work, and we start fighting again. You know, I was all week preparing as if I was going to, you know, Phoenix to fight. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I started seeing these travel bans, seeing these travel restrictions, seeing things get canceled. I was like, nah, Phoenix doesn't care. We're ready to go. And then short notice or last minute that happened. Man, it was tough because I was just like, man, why are we feeling so close? And then something changes. But rather than sulking or getting in a funk, right back to practice, right back to training, you know? Mm-hmm. And it's pretty cool now because since then I know we're that much better. You know, we're that much more in shape, we're that much sharper, we're that much cleaner, we're that much more slick. And I'm excited to show it in the Contender Series fight and then in the UFC shortly after. Mm-hmm. For me, it's like, man, maybe I'm gonna hit this guy, broke my hand, kick this guy, hurt my shin, you know, like whatever. So it's like now I'm healthy, healthier, and ready to step into the UFC. So I don't really look back on it as it was something bad. I just look at it as like it was a challenge for myself.
Yeah. And so was that the aim over obviously lockdown and everything with coronavirus? Is that the aim to always like improve yourself? Not so much like because you can't go to the gym and whatnot, you've got to stay at home. Is that the goal, to do everything you can at home and where you can do it to just get better?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I look at it like, I thought about it as a challenge. I told my mentor, and I told some people, I was like, man, I'm not going to be the same when I get out of this. No, like I grew my hair out. Looks crazy right now. Out here, grew my beard out, and I thought it'd be significant. Like, just let it go. Like, let it go. Be you, and naturally grow. Make sure you're committed every single day. Never took a day off. All I did was wake up, train, watch film, watch a little bit of Netflix, eat some food. The grocery store I'll go to, I get some green shakes, get ready, as much organic food as I could. Led some of my teammates team workouts and training sessions online, and then I would do my own thing. And like I would do pull-ups in my tree outside my house. I have a heavy bag right on my back patio, and I work out in like this little back alleyway in my house, but outside of my house. And man, I would just get after it every single day. And I'm not really like big into anime or what's it called, like, you know, cartoons and stuff like that. But I do remember when I was a kid watching Dragon Ball Z, and Goku went to that hyperbaric chamber to develop, and he was like stuck in there. And over time, like the time that he was in there, he was locked up, but he was working within. He was locked up, and he decided he became better than ever. But it was challenging, you know. Like for me, I was like, man, when the fights come up, when is this going to happen? And I took that as a challenge in that way. Like I said, you know what? If I'm going to be locked up, I'm going to become that much better. I'm going to work on this technique. I'm going to become this. I'm going to become that. And it really, really helped me out because when we get back to the gym, I could feel it. I could be ready. And then when they called me and they said, hey, do you want to move your fight earlier? I'm like, let's go. Let's fight right now. And then it was actually kind of cool, too. After the March 20th LFA fight got canceled, you know, there were fights, I think, in Liverpool. I think that was a card that was going to happen with the UFC.
London.
Yeah, in London. Oh, I had a call about possibly fighting Marvin Vettori, you know? And he was like, man, I messaged him. I was like, hey, I'm ready to fight you right now. And he was respectful. He was like, yeah, let's do it. But he had a replacement, or his opponent. His fight got rescheduled. But man, it's like, you feel like you're so close. And I was excited. I was at my friend's wedding. I already knew my LFA fight got canceled because I was like, I'm not going to go to any wedding or whatever. And then my friend's, then my fight got canceled. Okay, I guess I'll go to my friend's wedding. And then all of a sudden the UFC calls my agent Lou, and he's like, hey, can you make weight? I'm like, yes, what's going on? But man, like I just kept, that was like a little bit more motivation too. Even after my fight got canceled, you never know, man. Any moment right now, your name can get called, and that's how I looked at it, man.
Yeah, it's always just a call away. So with your last of your 6 fights, it was on the Dana White's Contender series against Kalen Hill, who's an undefeated prospect. He's got quite a few knockouts on his resume, and you won that by decision, and you impressed everyone at the UFC, but you didn't quite get the contract. What was the feeling there? Do you feel like you need to do more next time, or does it?
Man, so the feeling that night, I was like, it never hurt to win. I was sitting in the locker room like, man, like we were so happy because I was like, remember, so you leave, you win the fight like that. We're going to the UFC. We're excited. We're dancing around. We're jumping. I'm like, let's go. I remember I kicked him, and my shin was just like, I felt that he checked one kick, and I was like, man, my foot is swollen. Like, but I didn't care. I was like, we're going to the UFC. They can take care of it. And then we get in there, and I'm like, I'm smiling. I'm excited. You're like, all right, here we go. This is the time. And then he's like, well, come back. I was like, all right. We got back to the locker room, and I said, well, never hurt to win. And then I gave myself a few hours, gave myself a day. I was like, you know what? I'm with my family. I'm not going to sulk. I want to be in the UFC, shed a couple tears, get back to work. It was just like, man, you knew you earned it, but you didn't get the contract. And I was happy because I knew I did my job, though. Yeah, I was like, I fought a solid opponent. He's knocked a bunch of people out, left unscathed, and I can fight again. So I'm ready to go. I knew it wasn't a matter of if, it's a matter of when I'd be in the UFC. And I thank God for those 6 fights because I didn't get a fight since then. You know, then it's like, That's why I was like, fight in another organization or fight a few more fights, but they still called me back. So it was definitely a testimony. I thank God for that. This time, no, I don't think I need to do anything different. I got to be me. I'm gonna be better, so I look different probably, but it's not going to be that I'm forcing myself to be something I'm not. I'm going to go in there, claim victory, dominate this fight, have fun, and be structured and have charisma too. You know, and listen to my coaches, man. Listen to my coach. He's prepared me. The coach and my teammate Diego are going out there with me, and get in there, have some fun, man. And that's what I'm there to do. Control what I can control. And that's the way I fight. That's the way I listen to my team and have faith and trust God that He's put me there. Trust God that He's called me to be there. But it's time to do what I love. That I have to go there peacefully, calm, and attack. Like I want to go find a Calvin Cater, find that Abu Dhabi card. Maybe 3 fights ago now. But man, he's talking about being calm there, being like a sniper, being ready to go and breathing and attacking. So all the training, man, it's paid off. All the prayers, all the time with my family, and ready to go, man. I'm hoping I can leave tomorrow so I can head out a little bit earlier with Scott and my teammates for his fight, and see him go and knock out Benil Dariush, dominate that fight, and then after go get my contract on the following Tuesday, and then hopefully I'll fight the next weekend or something or that week. But man, it's business, I'm talking to my dad, and I'm like, when I first went out for the Contender Series, like a little puppy, and I'm excited. I'm like, man, at least I have this stuff. And then the second time I went out for media day, I'm like, this is my home. This is my job. This is what I'm supposed to do. So, like, you're a little bit older. You're a little bit, I don't want to say wiser, but you're a little bit more, educated, I would say.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
okay, I see the process now. This is fun. This is exciting. I like the lights, but keep the main thing the main thing. And it's time to work. And that's how I look at it. Yeah.
So obviously your next fight in Dana White's Contender Series is against Anthony Adams, who's 8-1, and his one loss came on Dana White's Contender Series, a split decision loss.
Yes,
so he's a good fighter, a good test for you. What do you see that's going to be the problems for you in this fight?
So one more time, what I see.
What do you see as problems in this fight that he can bring to you?
Man, I think Anthony Adams is good. He's a good puncher, so you got to definitely be smart and respect that. He's a good kicker. I mean, he's definitely he likes people when they stand in front of him. So I definitely respect his style. Man, like I said, I think he's a smart fighter, one of the smarter fighters out there. He's 8-1 for a reason, and probably testimony to his coaches and his coaching staff. Necessarily a problem, I think, would be more me not controlling myself. I can't say. I think if I were to blame him or get anybody in my life, like to say like they get a problem, it's not that. We're there to solve puzzles. We're there to decode and then attack. And it's that I got to decode better that night. I got to do my job better that night. I have to separate that night, and that's what I'll do. I respect his and he's a nice team. He's a very nice team. It's fun to watch, actually. So that's really cool. I like that. I mean, he did really well in the fight. I like how loose he is. And yeah, like I said, I like his kick. I like his rear kick. I like his rear hand, and I like his teep. So it's more fight. Like his stand up is pretty cool. So I'm excited for that and ready to show what I'm going to do. So
yeah, and the UFC are already showing you that it's no joke when you've been to the Dana White's Contender Series twice, 2 tough opponents, and it's no joke for you.
That's what I love, though. I mean, my goal is to be the best to be this past, present, and future, man. To set the bar so high so that whoever comes after, man, they really have something to go after. And I wouldn't want it any other way. I respect the UFC because that they're the top organization, they're premier, man. They got the ball rolling right again. They got the ball rolling again for sports. They got the ball rolling again in fighting. And to me, fighting is not a sport, man. It's a life. It's somebody trying to take your life points away. Like it's not a sport. And for me, I respect that, and I respect the UFC, and I appreciate that, man. Because there'll be. I don't get fighters who want to take each round fight opponents who are 1-27 or 0 and something. No, I want the fighters like Anthony Adams, and I respect him for taking the fight. And it's going to show. He's going to claim his victory. But my coach and my training partners have taught me to do. Like there's no great warrior who never had great opponents, and that's what I'm going to be. So it's like, let's go. Give me the next guy. Give me Paulo Costa. Give me Robert Whitaker. Give me Hermanson, Gastelum, Till. Any of those top middleweights. I don't care. You know, it's like, let me fight. I'm ready to go. Marvin Vettori, Carl Robertson, any of those guys, man, I'm respectfully, but I'm here to work. I'm not here to run and not fight. I mean, it's fighting. So it's like I'm here to fight, and whoever wants it, whoever signs the contract, who don't turn down fights are ready to go. And that's what I'm here for. So the 8-1, that's fine. You know, Kalen Hill was an awesome prospect, knocking people out. That's fine too. But we're going to decode, dominate, and move forward. So that's what I'm here for.
Once you get your contract, is there
Yes, sir.
anyone in the UFC that would be like ideal first matchup for you? Obviously, other than the names that you've mentioned, because that would be great. There would be great fights to start off with, but it's not really realistic to get going, is it?
Maybe. Hey, who knows, man? I mean, you never know. Somebody drops out, I'm ready to go. Let's see. Is it Kevin Holland? He's been doing pretty well. I think that'd be a fun fight. I like. Wait, we'll see. Maybe I get to fight Shabazian or. Any of those guys, really. Any guy who's just ready to fight. Really, is how I look at it. I like maybe Vettori. They've been talking, like not talking junk, but talking back and forth a little bit. Like, hey, I'm ready to fight. Willing to fight. They want us to fight. Anybody, man. My focus is on getting to the top. So whoever's there.
Do you feel prepared to, if you could have a matchup against like a Darren Till or anyone else? Do you feel prepared that you could fight them and win?
Yes, sir. I'm confident of that. I believe that for sure. I'm here to fight tomorrow. Literally, I'll make the weight and I'm ready to go. If they want to fight next weekend or they can make it to Vegas, let's go. Anybody. If Derek Brunson wants a quick turnaround, we can fight too. I'm ready, man. I train with the best guys like Scott Holtzman, Brian Barberina, John Salter, and my coach. We know how to game plan. We know how to do what we need to do. I remember last year people didn't think I was ready at all to fight Kalen Hill. Like I was gonna get steamrolled or something. And it's not really about me. It's about the faith. It's about the preparation. It's about making the adjustments and ready to go. I have a great support system, man. And many people that know about me respectfully, that's fine. Like I remember they asked me about that. I said, I had a question on my Instagram. Somebody asked me, oh, like, what do you think about being an underdog last year and this year possibly being a favorite? Man, none of that matters. What matters to me is that I'm here to fight. And people will see. Like, that's what I said last year when like Kalen Hill's dangerous and all stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, he's dangerous. I'm lethal. That's all I need to know. And when it's time to fight, you'll see. And, you know, Kalen could act how he wanted, can be disrespectful, whatever. But everybody saw what happened in that fight. So there until any of those top 5 middleweights, any of those top 10 middleweights, any of those top 15, I don't care. Just let me fight. And then we'll see at the end of the fight when my hand's raised. And that's how I look at it. I'm here to work. I'm here to do my job. And I have an amazing coach, man, amazing coach, an amazing team. And we'll get after it. We'll get going. So any of those guys. So like that's why my focus has been on the top 15 and up, because I know I'm ready to go. Brad Tavares, Shabazian, Brunson, you know, I'm ready to fight Adesanya. Pretty got to get that. I got to earn it. I'm not here to say let me skip it, but I'm ready to kick the door in when I get in the UFC. That's my only focus, man.
I like that mentality of you're always looking forward, always wanting to get to the top. I like it.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
What's your prediction for your fight?
Man, we're on there to dominate, have some charisma, man. Fight with structure. Respect Anthony Adams from the get-go. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't overlook him. He's a good fighter. So go do my job. Be ready to show up. Feel the fight out, and then believe, you know, a few level changes in there. Touch the body, touch the head, and either put him out or finish a choke. Goes the full round. It's going to be my most dominant performance as far as, you know, time. But I believe I can definitely finish this fight. So that's how I'm looking at it, man. And showing some charisma in there, having some fun, getting there ready to bang, using what I've been taught, man, using that. So charisma and structure, and finish this fight, get in and out.
I look forward to seeing that. And that's all from me. Unless you want to say anything else, I'm done, mate.
Man, I really appreciate you, having me on. Thank you for the adjustments, man. Training yesterday and then running around today. So I really, really appreciate your patience, and thank you again for having me on.
Fine. You too, mate.
Thank you.